Three, two, one. What's up, y'all? Welcome to You versus Who. I'm Steven. You can call me Sven, Zay, anything you'd like, honestly. A lot of people from different corners of the internet know me as different things. Yeah, this is You versus Who, where we talk about all things nerdy, everything that's geeky, and quite simply, all things. Uh, this is my dear friend, and
Hello, podcast world.
yeah, we're out here. We're doing the thing. So if you don't know, you probably don't know. This is probably your first time tuning in. I don't know. The way we're gonna do this show is we're just gonna take on hot takes, this versus that topics. We have what I like to call the bucket of ideas.
And for those who can't see, which is all of you, it's a legitimate bucket. This is a real physical bucket.
Yeah, we got buckets here. We got what I like to call the main quest bucket and the side quest bucket. And so essentially what we'll do today, you ready for this, Dan?
I'm ready.
We're gonna just pull random things. You can see in here that they're the people listening can't see, but if you're watching, there's a bunch of paper in there, and each bucket there are topics. A lot of them are going to be formatted in verses, obviously, because the title of the show, You versus Who. And then Dan and I are just going to quickly pick a side, which we'll try not to be on the fence as possible. This is just a casual debate amongst friends. This is where we're gonna chill and really just stand on our hill and go over it and stuff like that.
I feel like you and I do have very strong opinions on things. So I feel like there's not a lot of on the fence, stuff for us.
And there's a lot of things that we agree on, but there's
Yeah.
also like a lot of things that we differ on as well. Or we just
Yeah.
have, I think we have different upbringings, which brings like a different element to our conversations, I feel like.
That's true. I do think I'm also a very unpopular opinion person. I have a lot of opinions that make people groan. So I'm sorry in advance if that's anybody listening to this. But yeah, I'm excited to see where we end up with this. Even when I know it's a little behind the scenes, but even when you and I were just testing it out the other day, we were just kind of like jumping through some random topics, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize I had such a strong opinion on this. And yeah, I think this is fun. I'm excited.
It's that whole like unprovoked, like it's like out of nowhere. Once you hear a prompt, you're just like, oh, I just want to jump
Yeah.
right into that.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize this is like my whole personality is this thing that you just brought up.
Exactly. Like this is insane. I feel like that's the basis of every conversation I have with most people. It's always as soon as as soon as someone's like, "Oh, do you play video games?" I'm like, "Yeah, what do you play?" And then they mention what they play. I'm like, "Oh, all right. We're gonna get into this."
And here's why you're wrong for playing that.
This is why you should play my game instead, and then you
Yeah.
just start recruiting people, and it just creates a whole community, I feel like. And
I mean, you're very convincing. You've convinced me to watch shows. I've convinced you to watch shows.
you
I feel
convinced me to
like,
watch Indiana Jones, the first movie. That should
which
say
it's so crazy I had to convince you for that. That's the hair on the back of my neck is standing up. It's not just a classic. It's like the classic.
there's a lot of movies I didn't watch growing up, to be fair with you. I grew up in a Hispanic household, so like a lot of the media I consumed as a little kid was whatever my
Hmm.
mom, it's the thing where your parents put you onto whatever you're into pretty much. And that
Yeah.
goes into music even. Like I remember listening to pop music for the first time. Like that's a vivid memory for me. I remember it was like Enrique Iglesias. That
Wow.
was like my breakthrough when he had like that mainstream pop hit. I don't remember what it was. I can't remember it now, but
Yeah, he had like a good couple of years where it was just like he was the name out there. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, he brought, and even with his pop song, like he's still of Latin background, you know? So
Yeah.
like it's still like I didn't quite break through into pop culture. I like had
Right.
to like slowly ease my way in.
It was like 1 foot into the pool. Yeah. No, I totally get that. No,
And
I
then
I was pretty sheltered growing up too. I do feel like there was a lot. I mean, this might come up later, but I've never seen a full episode of Seinfeld. I've never seen a full episode of Friends. There's a lot of things out there that are just like because I just wasn't exposed to them, I just never got around to it. I didn't see Mean Girls until I was like 25.
that blows my mind because that's like for us, that should be like in the zeitgeist. Like it should be in
Oh
our brain.
yeah.
Like yeah, I'm sure after you watch the movie, you're like,
Yeah. I was like, oh,
I
I
missed
get it now.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it's so funny because like I knew it was a classic, and for some reason I just like never. My friends didn't watch it. Obviously my parents didn't watch it, so just kind of flew by. So yeah,
That was my Indiana Jones. You're Mean Girls. Yeah,
every time you say it, it just makes me like, yeah. I'm glad you watched it though. Like the fact that you watched it and you liked it, that's good because I did showed it to somebody once and she did not like it, and I was furious just
that's
because it's just like, come on.
even for what it is, for when it was released, it's still a. You have to admit, it's an impressive movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's an absolutely stunning, groundbreaking movie. And yes, not everything holds up, but for the most part, I think it does.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'm gonna just go right into the side quest bucket. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
This is insane. This is our first
I don't know
bucket
why I'm
pool.
stretching, but like I'm ready.
This is it. This is the moment, guys. The first bucket pool. Holy shit. Okay, it doesn't get any more, I don't want to say boring, but it doesn't get more, for lack of a better term. It's like not impressive, but it's chocolate versus vanilla.
Oh, but that's a classic. I mean, that's like the debate. That's a good one to start with.
Is it? Because I
Uh,
don't think it's much of a debate. I'm pretty strongly chocolate on this one.
I'm strongly vanilla.
Oh boy,
I,
this is where it
so
begins.
if I may, I think chocolate's great. Nothing wrong with chocolate. I think it's the probably more versatile of the two. But I think vanilla just has like a calmness to it that I think I just appreciate more. I think vanilla's rarer out in the world, and I think that's what makes it more special for me. I think everything has chocolate. You know what I mean? Like chocolate's just so everywhere. I think vanilla just has like that. It's like it's sweet, but it's also like relaxing in a weird way. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm a vanilla.
I'd actually argue that vanilla is the more versatile flavor. I think you can do a lot more with vanilla. So
Really?
when you say that, I'm like, huh, it's so neutral, you know? As opposed to chocolate. Chocolate is like it's an intense flavor that hits like even the back of your tongue, I feel like. Vanilla is a little
Hmm.
bit more smooth, a little more neutral, which is why chocolate to me is the better of the two.
Okay.
And it speaks for itself in the fact that there's chocolate everything. There's chocolate covered fruit, there's chocolate chip pancakes, there's
Yeah.
chocolate milkshake. Oh, okay, there's vanilla milkshakes too, but
But no, but I mean, like when you think of a milkshake, you think chocolate. Like when you think of, there's not vanilla pancakes as far as I know.
I mean, I
Like
put vanilla in my pancakes. Do you
that
not?
does, I don't, but that does sound good.
It's
Um,
it should be the way to that it's made.
Should. But I just think like I don't know. For me, I think maybe because it's chocolate's just so hyped up. You know what I mean? Like people love chocolate. It's an aphrodisiac. Like,
That's
you know,
another argument by the like
no, it's true. I just think it's like for me, I think vanilla is although it is like more boring, I just think it's more special in a weird way. I don't know. Like I
Wait,
would
is
much
vanilla
rather
more rare? Like, is it
I
rare to find
hmm.
vanilla as opposed to cocoa beans?
I think it's more like I don't know. It's probably in stuff more than chocolate. I just think the like when you taste something with chocolate, you know you're eating chocolate. I think vanilla, like you said, blends into the background. I think when I'm thinking vanilla versus chocolate, I'm thinking of something that's like vanilla pudding, like something that's like, oh, this is specifically vanilla. It's not just like an ingredient; it's the main reason.
Yeah, the reason for the
That's for
season.
me. Yeah, I think if I'm like if you made me swear on like Bible or something like that, I'm going to tell you chocolate is probably the more popular, or definitely more popular. It's probably like the better of the two. I just think for me personally, I would rather like a vanilla cookie over a chocolate cookie or something like that.
Interesting. I'd
Yeah.
still take a chocolate chip or a chocolate cookie over any vanilla anything, honestly. I don't hate vanilla. Vanilla is not bad. I obviously put it in my pancakes, so
Yeah.
there's
I mean,
something.
neither are bad, I think. You can't go wrong with either for sure.
I just think when I'm in the argument of chocolate versus vanilla, I'm thinking like, what's the more popular flavor? What do people, the general public, prefer? What do I prefer? And I prefer chocolate. There was a period of time where I couldn't go to sleep without a glass of chocolate milk. This is true facts.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I would just, which is probably unhealthy as fuck, but
It's not great. It's not great.
America.
I will say, I mean, like, chocolate milk is
Also, a hot
almost,
cocoa on a cold day. Are we really debating
oh,
this?
that's 100%. No joke. I love hot chocolate more than anything. Like, truly, it's my favorite thing in the winter. That, okay, that
If
makes me
you're
second
going,
guess myself a little
if
bit.
you're going to a diner, for
Yeah.
example, and you're gonna sit down and you have this breakfast platter of like whatever your favorite thing is, waffles, pancakes, and you got your eggs and you got your bacon or sausage, whatever, and they ask you what do you want for your beverage. Are we ordering a hot cocoa with, mind you, with the whipped cream, maybe some marshmallows inside? I don't know. They could do all kinds of things with it. Or are we ordering like a vanilla latte?
You're probably right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, look at that. The first one, and you've gotten me to change my mind.
I think I've got it. I
I
think
will
chocolate
say,
wins.
just to like add on to the chocolate side of things a little bit, chocolate milk is, I mean, growing up, it was like the thing. You know what I mean? Like, like my school gave you the choice of chocolate milk or white milk, and of the 40 kids in my class, everybody but me and one girl had chocolate milk.
It's
My
the
parents
better
didn't let me
milk.
have it. Yeah, and I was like furious. Maybe I have like a vendetta against chocolate. I don't know. You know, you've gotten me to change my mind. I think
That ratio alone should
it's
support
true.
my
That's a good point.
argument.
Yeah, that's a good point. 38 to
Also,
2. Yeah,
in the words of RuPaul, why it gotta be white?
that's true.
Like,
It
why
should.
is it
Yeah,
not just milk?
you're 100%.
This is a crazy second side quest poll.
No, I
It's
can't say it.
coffee versus tea.
We're on brand here.
I know.
I well, you go.
I think this is an odd one for me because coffee is what I would most likely drink on a daily basis.
Hmm.
But when I'm like sick or I need like a little boost of something or I need help sleeping, I'm probably going with tea. I ditched the hot or the chocolate milk and I've started drinking tea to go to sleep if I need it.
So you're telling me coffee
S-
is the chocolate of drinks and tea is the vanilla of drinks?
There you have it. So coffee wins.
I get that. I mean, for me personally, I do not like tea. I don't like tea. I don't like iced tea. I'm not a tea. Yeah, I don't drink iced tea. I just don't like the taste. I think it
Even
tastes
like sweet
awful.
iced tea.
Sweet, unsweetened. I just don't like iced tea. Yeah.
Holy crap.
So
Tangent real quick. How do you feel
yeah,
about matcha?
I've never had matcha. You
So I
talking,
need
we're talking, being, we're talking about being, oh my gosh,
sheltered.
sheltered growing up. That is a good example there. There's a lot of foods that I have not tried, and matcha's one of them.
So we'll have to get you to try matcha for sure.
Ah.
I'm not like a Gen Zer who loves their matcha, which no, this is not to offend any Gen Z. I love you guys. But matcha is like definitely your thing. I'm not like the biggest fan of matcha. I've had matcha that's good, you
Hmm.
know, but it's just, I feel like once you try matcha, you'll understand why I'm bringing it up in this coffee versus tea thing. Because I think what you're saying is like tea has like that earthy taste to it, which is
Yeah.
very much what matcha is like, especially if it's not sweetened.
Hmm.
And it really came into my head when you said you don't even like sweet iced tea. That's where I was like, hold up.
Maybe I should try it again. It's just, and I'll be honest, I'm not even crazy about the taste of coffee. I think for me, coffee is more like I need it to get through the day. And there's something about like going into a coffee shop and like kind of relaxing. I also used to work in Manhattan, so I would take my to-go coffee and walk down the street. And there's just like a different vibe of like in a suit, running down the street with a coffee. You know what I mean? It's
As
just
soon
like
as you
a
said Manhattan, I was like, oh, it's just a vibe. That's the vibe. Like he
yes. It's very true. I think coffee is more of a vibe for sure. And I think it's the vibe that I like. I'm not much of like a relaxing, doing nothing. I'm like I feel like I have to stay active, and for me, that's coffee. Another thing I didn't have till I was 20, I didn't have coffee. So yeah,
Dan.
I know. But my first coffee was on my first date with my now husband, and he wanted to go for coffee, and I was like, "Sure," just trying to be nice. And he got me a coffee, and I started drinking it, and I thought my heart was gonna shoot out of my chest because I'm not used to that
You
much caffeine. I was my feet were tapping, my hands were tapping. I was like, "Oh my god, I feel like I need to run a mile right now."
Holy
Yeah.
crap. I think that neither of us are gonna come into a good conclusion or argument for coffee or tea at that point, so it's ditched.
Sure, works for me.
Live chat versus comment sections.
That's difficult.
I have just recently started to enjoy a live chat.
Okay.
I used to go on videos that would be live or whatever, and I would see the live chat feed going, and I don't know, I just didn't feel inclined to add anything. I was like, what does it matter what little old me from wherever I was at the time? Who cares, you know? And then recently, I've been in a even in the same content that what I was taking before, like comedy shows or whatever that has a live chat, where I wouldn't have, I'm now talking in them, and I'm like,
Okay.
oh, I get it now. Like it's like the Manhattan coffee thing. It's just a vibe. Like
True.
you're there hanging out. It's like going to a concert. Do you know these people? No. If you were to like sing your heart out with the singer, it doesn't matter? Like, no, not really. You know,
Yeah.
no, it's not gonna you're not gonna have like a breakout standout moment, right? But like there's just something of like being there present with people, I guess, vis-a-vis online in this instance, that it's just like, okay.
So to clarify, we're talking live chat versus comment section of like a YouTube video? Or are we talking video games or just in general?
Yeah, I would say like Twitch, Kick, YouTube,
Mhm.
anything that hosts like a live comment feed or like the comment section of that post or like or do you like prefer to make an input after the fact or on media that's not necessarily live, I guess. So a comment section where I think the difference lies in live chat, there's an immediate response to whatever you say
Yeah.
potentially because sometimes what you say could go unnoticed depending on whose live chat that we're talking about. Like if it's Kai Cenat, like your chat, your text or whatever is just gonna fly by. Who cares? Versus like a comment section of like a song where the it might be a couple days, it might be a couple hours, it might be the next minute that someone realizes your comment, agrees to it, and like hits a reply underneath it.
I'd agree with that. I think also to go in like favor of live chat, I think there is if you go to a comment section, you're seeing paragraphs and paragraphs of people typing. I'm sure it's would be great if it was like you're reading an article, you want all of this like explanation and this thorough thought through. But I think with a live chat, because you have to be quick, you're really just getting more of an honest, direct answer. You know what I mean?
Or
Like,
reaction.
yeah, exactly. Like this game's amazing, I think is a lot more helpful than I played the game and I have gotten to this point and here's what I like and here's what I don't like. Like I that's helpful in some instances, but I do think you're getting more to the point with a live chat because like you said, like you're it's going fast, it's going quick up there. And if I took the time to like write out literally every thought before posting it, it would be on a topic that's like we passed a while ago. You know what I mean? So it's not even worth it.
I
So
think comment sections are also susceptible to like spam, right? You always see those huge spam paragraphs they're like forcing you to read something until you realize it's just
yeah.
spam and you're like, fucking A.
Right. It's always like, and then this is what I think, and by the way, buy my meme coin. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
lot of that.
yeah, yeah. Versus like live chat, which could be hit with spam, but like people moderators they tend to like, kick them out a lot faster. So there's that. I
Yeah,
would
I think
say
that's fair.
I'm leaning towards live chat, especially more recently.
Hmm.
I would like you said, comment section for me would be more like I'd rather see that in a forum, long form. This is my exposition of whatever this is, and this is what I think. And then you get bad karma or good karma. I don't know, like ups
Exactly.
up votes or not.
To add on top of it, I mean, I watch a lot of reality television, and there was a period in my life back when I was on Twitter, back when it was Twitter, where I used to live tweet TV shows. I did it so much that places like Entertainment ET and stuff were like taking my tweets and like using them in their article. Yeah, it was a big thing. One of my tweets got shown on The Bachelor, which was really cool.
That's insane.
Yeah, but like you're saying, like there's a different energy about it. Like I couldn't sit there and explain why I liked or didn't like this one thing. It was like I had to be quick and to the point because like somebody's reading this while I'm typing it, like they're watching the show at the same time. So I have to like make sure what I'm saying aligns with the same timing. So I had to be faster. And, it's you start to get into the groove of it, it becomes a lot more natural. And I think that was much more fun than like going to look at comments on that same show days later where somebody's like, here's what, with after reflecting, here's my like that's not I don't care anymore. Like that's old news.
That's letterbox.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 100%. Yes, Letterbox should be where you put out those big
Letterbox and
explanations.
letterbox and Reddit. Because that's what I do. I'm I'm well known for like watching an episode of Law and Order for the week and then instantly going to the discussion forum and doing exactly what you say, which is this is why I like this
Yeah.
episode.
Which you know what? It's great. I think there's a lot of instances where that's helpful. It's just not as fun. I mean,
Yeah,
for me, like I look more forward to the live side of things.
I'd agree. I think it's time
Oh boy. Oh
that
my
we pull out of
gosh.
the main quest. The
Oh, I'm not
main quest
ready.
bucket. This is the bucket. You see, there's a little less in there than the side quest. Side quest filled. Main quest a little less. But this is where the hot ones are. See
I'm
if
excited.
my fiery hands gets a good one in here.
We're about to solve an ongoing debate for the rest of time.
This is it. This is where
Here we
debates
go.
are. This is where debates are made. This is what dreams are made of, in the words of Hilary Duff, who's getting a resurgence recently, and I'm loving that for her.
100%. She deserves it. I mean, she was the 90s or early 2000s.
There you go.
Yes, yes. I always go to the 90s because I'm a millennial, but no, they all blend together.
I will say the Lizzie McGuire show was in the 90s, though. I think it was late 90s. Or am I wrong? I don't know.
I don't
Somebody
know.
correct me.
I hate to say it, but that was another one I didn't watch. My parents didn't let me watch Disney Channel, mainly because they didn't want to figure out what channel it was on. So I watched Nickelodeon.
Holy crap. I was a kid of all three channels, the big three, baby.
Oh
Cartoon
yeah,
Network, Disney Channel, and Nickelodeon. You could have called me on any. This is why growing up in the city was crazy. We weren't really allowed outside. Not that we weren't, it was just better for your safety if you were not outside, especially back in those days.
uh-huh.
And so I had it down where like I would schedule my week based on what was on through the week on each of those channels. Like I'd be like, oh, it's Thursday, a Nickelodeon day for sure, because all the
Yeah.
heavy hitters will be on Thursday. But like maybe I'll sneak. There's like one show on Disney Channel that I'd have to tune in. So like this is before DVR, kids. Yes, before the the days of streaming, it used to be a time where you would just have to know the times and then tune in at that time or you missed it. That was it. So
hmm
if you missed an episode, you were fucked.
Yeah. It was rough in the 90s. It was a tough time. There was a
Speak,
lot of shows that I'd seen half of because I didn't make it in time to to watch the episode.
which is why as an adult I watch them all now because I'm like, or I have, throughout my adulthood because I'm like,
Yeah.
I have to like Shaolin Showdown, infamous for that. I remember I'd miss an episode and I was like, fuck, this is a show where I think you need to have like all, especially when you watch the finale, which I did watch live.
Okay.
And I was like, damn, I don't feel satisfied because there are things that I've missed. There'd be
hmm
like one of the what are they called? The Shang Wu? Yeah. I
That
just
sounds familiar.
remembered.
Yeah.
Shang Wu. I'd be like, where did this Shang Wu come from? I don't remember an episode for this one. Sure enough,
Yeah.
it was the one I missed.
The tougher shows for that were the ones that did have like that weren't one-off episodes that did have like a longer story. For me, it was
Continuity.
yeah, exactly. It was Jackie Chan Adventures on Saturday mornings.
I
It
love
was
that
always
show.
so early that I always like missed part of it. So I would either watch half an episode or I'd miss an episode one week, and then I'd be like, "What is going on? Like this show it makes no sense." But I
This
was
is
obsessed with it.
This is why being a channel surfer had its benefits.
Yeah,
So if you didn't know, Jackie Chan actually aired multiple times. So it was I think originally on WB Kids,
yeah. That's
which
where I
was
watched it.
like channel 11 where I was. But they would show reruns on like Disney XD or like one of those side channels. Yeah, so like if you miss an episode for that week on its live day, you could like catch it on a different channel.
Oh
I
my
think
God,
at one time ABC had it. Like it was,
8-year-old me would have killed to know that back then. That's crazy because that was my favorite show.
and it wasn't all the shows, right? So like it would just depend. You would just have to cycle through all the channels and be like, "Oh, snap, they show this show also on this channel. That's
Yeah.
crazy." And then you'd be like, and then it would take weeks to figure it out. Like I'd be like, "Oh, I'm realizing that this episode on XD, for example, Disney XD is the one that they premiered last week from WB Kids." Like it would be like that, you know?
Oh my
But you would have
gosh.
it would take a couple weeks before that clicked in. So you would just watch and then you'd be like, "Oh, I've already seen this episode, but fuck it, it's a good, it's a good show. Why not
Yep.
rewatch it?" So, and then yeah. Speaking of TV though, good
Okay.
segue. Main quest first bucket pool is Family Guy versus Bob's Burgers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna let you answer first because I have strong opinions about this.
Man. So I think they're both very different shows. I think if I'm looking to laugh, and I'm looking for quick humor, I think I go Family Guy because I think even in the worst episodes, I do think there's a lot of really funny gags. I think it keeps me entertained. I think I can just like jump into a random episode, not worry about it. For me, Bob's Burgers does have some hit or misses, but it's such a different show in that it is just so much more heartwarming, and I think it, like, makes you feel good to watch it in a weird way. It's a different Family Guy is very, like, pie in the face humor, and
Very
Bob's
divisive
Burgers.
too. Like there are some
Oh,
very
yeah.
controversial episodes of Family Guy.
Yeah,
There are
especially
banned
yeah.
episodes, by the way. I don't know if you know this. I think there's like one or two that are banned.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember in high school, one of the episodes got banned, and then we all found it legally online. So I think they're both very different types of humor. That's like trying to compare like South Park and Looney Tunes. Like they're such different types of humor. You know what I mean?
So why
But
they got put into this category is just because they fall under the adult animation
oh yeah, totally get it.
umbrella, but I totally get that. By the way, all the adult animations are in the main quest bucket, so it will come up
Oh,
again.
okay, cool.
I don't know when it'll be pulled. I just made all of these guys, so like I know what's technically in there. So Family Guy would be more like akin to American Dad,
Yeah,
right? They're more of like they have running gags, even though Family Guy is more cutaways. American Dad is more like they just have props and stuff. Like it's the what's his name? The alien.
Roger.
Roger.
Yeah.
Roger is like the biggest gag of the show, honestly. And so they're different in that way, but they're similar in that they're adult animation. Bob's Burger is a feel good. I think their humor just comes naturally. Like
Hmm.
it's less pie in the face, like you said. It's more like these characters are humorous in
Yeah.
like their day-to-day activities. And it's more like character. Well, they both have very strong characters, right? That they're funny because of who they are. Like
Hmm.
Stewie is just always funny because he's Stewie.
Right.
But I think you know where the difference really lies? I feel like together, the family and Family Guy is, which is funny because it's in the name. They're not funny together.
Okay.
It's always that they have to be separate, like right? Like the humor for Peter is always when he's hanging out with his friends. The humor
Yeah.
for Lois is always tied to somebody else, always, which is crazy. There are a couple like Lois centric episodes where it's just she's the focus or whatever, but for the most part, she's always tied to somebody. Brian and Stewie are always a thing, right? Like that's just how it works. And then Meg and Chris are always like tied to another person in one way or another. But it's never like really the whole family being funny together. They do have together moments, but it's never, oh, it's not like
Yeah.
consistent. Bob's Burgers, I feel like they're more constantly as a family being able to be funny together, and that's
Right.
more consistent of that. There's a more consistency of that.
I think you're absolutely right. I do think I mean, because I'm trying to think, like, I feel like most Family Guy episodes are 2 to 3 of the characters. Like you said, they don't have there's some episodes where, like, certain characters just don't even show up in the main cast. I think that's
Uh,
very true.
they follow a main plot and subplot formula.
But even those, like, I feel like don't always feature everybody. Like
Yeah.
there are episodes where like Chris and Meg like aren't even in it, and
Hmm.
they're, you know, they're main characters. I also think like sort of what you were saying is like how Bob's Burgers is funny naturally. I feel like Family Guy is jokes, and I feel like Bob's Burgers, like you said, is like funny people. Like I couldn't I'm having a hard time like thinking of a joke that I heard in Bob's Burgers, but I
Yeah.
do know that I'm like super laughing at it as opposed to like a cutaway gag where it's just like punchlines set up like it's literally it's jokes brought to life as
Yeah.
opposed to like these are funny people. Like oh my gosh, Linda on Bob's Burgers, like the second she opens her mouth, I'm laughing. She is just so funny. Like I went to school on Long Island, so I knew a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
And so like she could say anything and it makes me laugh. I don't think anybody on Family Guy could do the same thing.
Tina is that for me on Bob's Burgers.
Yes.
Because I resonate a lot with her character. Like I was very much that awkward shy kid, but like always willing to socialize with
Hmm.
everyone. And I always had like the weirdest. I would always like write the weirdest things or whatever. Like I was like a poet kind of in high school, and so I would always write these like very awkward but also like weird and sad poems. And
Yeah.
that's kind of what I was known for. And but I was just always awkward and saying like the wrong thing or like I don't know. I see a lot of myself in Tina, not a one for one, but she resonates a lot with me, and a lot of my like closest friends in high school were a lot like her as well. So
Yeah.
it's just like it's very easy for me to laugh at, like just her saying when she's driving, like trying to learn how to drive is probably like top five moments of Bob's Burgers for me. Family Guy, the only character on there that can always make me laugh is Seamus.
Oh, deep. I mean, like,
That's a
could
deep
not
cut.
be a deeper cut. Yeah.
And it's just 'cause I don't know what about it makes me laugh, but it's him and Herbert.
Oh, yo, well, Herbert's. I mean, but those are
Li-
characters who are like in one out of every 20 episodes. Like they're
Yeah,
so rare.
they do. I love it when Family Guy does like adaptations of stories or like movies or
Yeah.
whatever, and they incorporate like the whole cast. Those are
Hmm.
like my favorite because then I get to see all the good characters. A lot of times, like you said, it's like they're just focusing on the pop. Like it's always a Brian Stewie main plot or subplot, and then like Peter and his friends as the other plot, either the main or the
Yeah,
sub.
that exactly. I think that's like usually it. Like Lois, Brian, I'm sorry, Lois, Chris, and Meg usually like are not as heavily focused for sure.
Yeah, which is crazy because Lois is funny to me sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, she's got some. There was one episode. It was actually kind of recent. It was like two years ago, maybe, where she wants to be like customer of the week or something at the coffee place. It's I think the whole episode is just her, nobody else, and it like devolves into this thing where she like spoiler alert, she accidentally like murders the person at the coffee place, and then she just like cover up a murder, and it was like it was just her, but it was so funny. It was one of the funniest episodes I've ever seen of the show. But Peter's not in it, Brian's not in it, Stewie's not in it. Like it's just her. Um,
That's why the lowest episodes for me are so great because it is always like her devolving into like some kind of chaos. Like it's always she goes to the extreme. Whatever it is that she does. Like I remember when she was trying to get like Jack, she wanted to be strong, and then she like went super into it, and then she just became like a bodybuilder, like boxer or wrestler or something.
yeah,
Like Lois just she goes balls to the walls always, and I appreciate that about her. I guess
absolutely.
anyone that's around Peter that long probably has to be that way, you
Yeah,
know?
I think they used to be a little more grounded in the earlier seasons, but now they're just like, I mean, the giant chicken used to be like crazy because it was like the craziest thing they would do back then, and now that's pretty much all they do. It's like giant chicken type humor,
Yeah.
which is it's good if that's what you want, but I do think Bob's Burgers itself is definitely a like better show in that these are characters who you like not only like feel for, but also just like they are funny. Like you want to see them just talk, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I'd I would side with that argument. I think Bob's Burger is the better written show, the better because it's character driven. It's not plot driven. Not always. Like I said, my favorite episode is Tina learning how to drive. that plot alone is like so mediocre, but it's done so well.
Yeah.
And Family Guy for me, it just has like that nostalgia, which is crazy. I remember growing up watching Family Guy and thinking like this is the newer show, right? Like compared to The Simpsons. Like it was the hip modern show, but it's been on for so long now that it's like in that status of like legacy. Like
Oh yeah.
if
And plus
Family
it's been
Guy's
canceled like 3 times too, and
and
it
it
keeps
gets
coming
brought back.
back.
American Dad too, which is insane. The show that came back that really deserved to be back was Futurama, and holy shit, I feel bad because I haven't tuned into the new season, but I need to.
That is I feel like Futurama is a good like halfway between the two shows because I do feel like they do a lot of emotional episodes. I mean, everybody knows the dog episode. I mean, that's oh, it breaks my heart every time. Like they
Oh,
do a lot of
1000%.
like super emotional, sweet things, but they're also like crazy funny. And I
Yeah.
feel like Bender's one of those people who like no matter what he's saying, I'm laughing. Or Dr. Zoidberg, no
Oh
matter
yeah.
what they're saying, I am laughing, even if it's not a joke.
Even if it's not a joke. It's just the
Yeah,
way they say things. Like I like that all these adult animation shows has that character. Like it's the Stewie, the Roger,
yeah,
the Bender. It's cool. Funny enough, Bob's Burger stands out because they do not have that character.
that's
They
true.
don't have that archetype.
Yeah, no, that's a good point because I feel like they're all kind of that on their own. I think Linda to me is probably the closest to that,
But she
but
fits like the mother archetype that it all,
yeah,
you
she's like a
know.
real person. Like you, I know someone in my life who speaks exactly like her.
You're telling me you don't know someone in real life that's like Francine? That's crazy.
Definitely,
I know a couple.
but I do going back to like the like Bob's Burgers isn't jokes. Like something that just stands out to me now is the running gag on the show where every time the mayor comes up, Linda gets really excited to be around or to be talking about the mayor, like it's this huge deal. Like that wouldn't be funny on Family Guy. I don't think. I like I'm always being excited about being around the mayor. It's like not a joke. But there it is because you're like you get who Linda is as a person. Like everybody knows someone like a Linda, like a Bob. Um
Bob is
yeah,
great.
I
I love Bob.
yeah, exactly. And I just think they're all funny on their own, but like they really shine when they're bouncing off each other. Like the three kids, I feel like perfect. Just genes, just wildness, and then like yeah, I just think they're fantastic together.
Jean, Tina, and Luis.
Yeah. I
Luis
think
is great.
I think Tina usually has like the punchline, but I do feel like the other two are very much like instigators, and I think that's what makes it funny.
They're also they're all balls to the walls character, honestly. Like
They
they're all
are.
great. I think I think check this out. The bucket of ideas, the bucket of debates, whatever we want to call it, I think it knows because this next main quest pool is crazy segue from what we're talking about.
Oh my God.
So the next pool is live action versus animated.
Ooh, good segue. Okay, I hold on. I have to get a clarifying question on this. Are we talking about just like live action anything, or are we talking like adaptations, or do we just like do you prefer animation versus live action?
I'd say to fit the limits of this debate that it would have to be a piece of content, a piece of media, if you will, exists within both mediums. So something that would have both a live action and an animated adaptation, or at least a version. They don't have to be adaptations. They just, you know. So I'm thinking like, right, like obviously all comic books have a live action and an animated thing.
Yeah.
The Avatar: The Last Airbender, Aang has like a live action now and an animated adaptation, or that's the other way around. Sorry, guys.
True,
It's
yeah.
very much the live action is an adaptation. But yeah, so I'm thinking along those lines. So it
Hmm.
wouldn't, yeah.
I'll tell you where my gut is going, but I feel like I could be easily swayed. My gut is saying animation because I do feel like the problem that live action runs into is that things can look bad. Like they bad CGI, or a lot of times with live action, they're prioritizing, like, the actor that they got to play a part over the character, and I feel like with animation, I mean, there's voice actors and celebrities do voices and stuff too, but you don't go to see something as much because a certain celebrity is voicing it. Also,
Unless
I
it's
feel
Ice
like
Age. Sorry
well,
about
that's
it.
true. I mean, Ray Romano, that's a very unique voice. Um, but I do think like, Ice Age is a good example. A lot of like the physical gags in Ice Age that work would not work if it was live action because you'd be thinking like, well, this looks silly and like, I think there's like that you don't think this looks silly in animation, you
It's
know?
the Lion King thing, right? Like it the Lion King live action adaptation, sorry Beyonce, it's just not as it's just not as good
You're
as
gonna
the
get us
animated.
canceled by the Bayhive.
I know. Sorry about it. Not sorry, actually. It just does not live up to the iconic animated version of it.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to say version. That sounds nasty saying that. It's like that is the true version
True.
of that story. I appreciate live action adaptations a lot more. I would love to argue that they are better. When they are done right, I think they can be better,
Sure.
but it's not consistent enough. We're not at that. I don't think we're at that stage. We're at the precipice of it being able to like live up to the same hype or the same quality as animation, but it's
Yeah.
not there yet. I don't think so. As someone who has read quite not a lot of comic books, but a few comic books. It's hard for me to say that live action sucks because I remember being a kid and seeing these panels and being like, man, if they ever made like a live film version of this would be
Hmm.
so cool. So I remember watching the original Batman, not original, I guess, but the Michael Keaton Batman
Yeah.
films, and I thought I was a little kid and I was like, my mind's blown. Mind you, if you rewatch those, like the grappling hook scenes, you're like, this is this is a choice,
Yeah.
you know? And then all the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, I loved those as a kid. And I would have never thought there's like that like a wonderment as a kid that you're like you don't understand how it was made, so to you it's just wondrous, right? Like, oh
Yeah.
my God, Superman flying, even though you watch it as an adult and you're like, that man has string, there's
Yeah.
strings and
The
like
magic's gone for
the
sure.
magic's gone. But holy crap, the MCU has been like for me, I'm just a massive fan. Obviously there's criticisms of the MCU, but what they were able to achieve is so huge that I'm like, I don't even care. And it like from 2008 to now,
Mm.
some of the CGI, not all of it, I'm looking at you, Brave New World, has gotten better, right? Like they're able to do cooler things. Just like the evolution of Tony Stark's suit alone, right, through the
Yeah.
movies is insane. So like imagine what we can do for the MCU in another 10 years. And then
Hmm.
I always like to rewatch my classics. So like Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire. I rewatch those and I'm like, man, if they made Tobey Maguire's like exact like punch for punch plot for plot with current technology, they would just hit so much harder because a lot of those special effects were like they're great, especially for the time, but like they're a little dated, you know?
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
Just a little bit. And they couldn't do as much, right? Like just the swinging scenes from him to Andrew Garfield alone is a huge jump. So then from him to Tom Holland is a massive jump. So when you're watching Tom Holland swing around, you're like, you feel like a roller coaster. You're like, even
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield, you're like, it's crazy. And you watch the Tobey Maguire, and there's like rarely any scenes. A lot of time he just like shows up. Like
Hmm.
it's just like he swings in, one swing. And so I don't know. I love live action, but I think animated has to take the cake.
I'd agree with that. And I also think there's one issue that live action runs into a lot is like, what is the level of realism that you're going for? Think of The Lion King. The Lion King tried to make these look like legitimate animals. There was no cartooniness. And a lot of people didn't like that. But then you have things like like One Piece, the One Piece show. I mean, that is goofy. That is a goofy show, but they are trying to stay loyal to the cartoony side. So there's a lot of people watching that are like, I don't know, this is kind of weird. So what is that like? I'm thinking of instances where they've done it well, like when they fixed Sonic. I think, the new Sonic makes sense.
I
But
was
there's
just
instances
talking about that with my buddy today, by the way. That's
that's
insane that you
that's a
brought it up.
that's probably a perfect example of like an adaptation that could have been really bad looking at the original Sonic when they want to make him look like correct, but like you got to be a little silly with it. But then the one that I keep going back to is the Power Rangers movie that came out a few years ago, the one with Elizabeth Banks. That was rough. That was a rough movie, but they
I
wanted
wanted to like
to
that movie too.
yeah, they don't want to be silly. And I think like they don't want to show costumes because they're like, "Oh, we don't want it to look like cheesy 90s." But to your point about the MCU, I think what they do right is they have this perfect line between like be like legitimately showing the character's costume the way it's supposed to be, but also not getting too cartoony. You know what I mean? Like they walk that line really well. These costumes that like when you look at them first thing, you think to yourself like, oh, this is kind of weird. This looks like somebody cosplaying it. But like you buy into the premise of it. And I think like, if you look at some old Supermans and some old Batmans, they try to like cool up the look and it kind of takes away from the character.
The X-Men movies are like the leather suits are still notorious for that
Perfect.
same reason.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but the reason why the MCU blends that line really well is because it's inspired by comics that essentially is exactly that.
Hmm.
They're based on the Ultimate Comics, and the Ultimate Comics are just what if these characters from our Marvel universe existed in what would be our real life, like, you know,
Yeah.
like so in reality. So it's very grounded comics, which is also why the MCU did so well because it's grounded in like a little bit of realism. So it blends that fantasy realism line a lot really
Yeah.
well. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do after they soft reboot with Secret Wars because if they're going to try to be more inspired by the main Marvel comic universe, then they're going to have to like really dive into like the fantasy weird looking shit
Yeah.
and we'll see how it goes. Listen, I watched Deadpool Wolverine and I loved the Hugh Jackman suit. I was like, this is a way that is inspired by the classic comic book look and it
Hmm.
doesn't look so tacky.
Yeah.
Like, and it didn't have to be boring black leather. That was,
Yes.
like
Absolutely. I mean, they basically, I felt like they started with what do fans want to see, and then they tweaked it just enough to the point where it was like, okay, anybody can watch this movie now. Like, you know what I mean? Like not feel like it's full fan service. And I think that's, we can talk more about that when we get to like a nostalgia conversation about nostalgia, because I have opinions on that. But
as
I
far as
do feel
live
like,
actions go, like I think people need to stop forcing these studios to try and adapt a lot. Oh, I don't know who it is, because honestly, I don't know a single person in my circle of friends that are like, we need a live action version of this right now.
yeah,
I I subscribe to the idea that if it comes from a paper source, right? So comics, a book or whatever, I think it should be like the goal should be to make an animated adaptation. But if you can't and you have to settle for live action, that's fine. I don't
hmm,
think it should be the other way around where it's like let's make an animated version because we couldn't make a live action. Now
yeah.
it's so popular, like we can make a live action, let's make the live action. I don't like that.
I agree. I agree with you there. I think that the people who do want a live action version, I think it's something where it's like they want this thing they love to be in the mainstream because you can make animated adaptations of things and people will see them, but they are not in theaters. The average person doesn't know about it. People before Black Panther came out, how many people in America knew who Black Panther was? I mean, you knew Captain America.
You don't even
You
have to go. Nobody knew Iron Man. Listen, I
yeah,
grew up with comic books my entire life. I read X-Men when I was like a young kid. I was into Spider-Man comics. I loved a lot of DC comics. I knew so many obscure characters, and then I watched all the cartoons, right? Again, to my point, the animated stuff, and
yeah.
they were all gold. They were so good. And I knew who Iron Man was, but I couldn't give two shits about Iron Man. I was like, oh. I was
Yeah.
never an Avengers kid. Couldn't give two shit. Avengers, by the way, Avengers was a bunch of B-list heroes that couldn't sell on their own, so they put them together on a team to try and sell them. And they were all these B-list heroes that didn't belong to like the X-Men or didn't belong to like the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
That's where all these characters are from. So they weren't even, that's why they weren't mainstream because they weren't even the big sellers of Marvel Comics. It wasn't until 2008 fucking Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man, Tony Stark, that people were like, "Oh, this is cool." And
Yeah.
like even then, I didn't really give a shit about the Iron Man movie. I hate to say it, but I was like, "Cool, Iron Man. When's my next Spider-Man movie?" Like like can we move on?
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until Avengers came out, that movie, that I was like, they're creating the universe I wanted them to do with
Hmm.
Spider-Man and Blade and the X-Men. I wanted that to be a whole cohesive universe that like intertwined stories. They didn't have to, but
Yeah.
like they would weave into it. And that's what I wanted. And I saw that being created with the Avengers and I was like, "Oh, so maybe I need to start paying attention."
It was such a it was such like a crazy cultural moment where you were like, "Oh, I didn't know you could do this. I didn't know you could take these separate movies and put them into one." I remember, I mean, this is semi-tangent, but it's sort of the first time I had that thought was when I was growing up and the Smash Brothers game came out. I remember thinking like, "What do you mean these are people from different video games in one video? Like, you don't that's not a thing." You know what I mean? Like Mario's in Mario
Pikachu,
games, Pikachu's in
Mario,
Pokemon games.
Link from Legend of Zelda?
Yeah, I was like,
What?
"What are they all doing together? This
Who
doesn't
the fuck is
seem right."
Kirby?
Yeah, that's another good example. The MCU does the same thing where they have your Captain Americas and people that you know, and then nobody knew who Hawkeye was, nobody who Ness was, but now they're involved and now they're more household names.
1000%.
Yeah, so I think the MCU is done a good job about that, and that like you can watch them separately, you can watch them together, and it just it feels like the yeah, I think like that's a good example of where a live adaptation works, but I think it's a lot rarer than, like I think those are a lot harder to find. I think you get a lot of really bad, the Dragon Ball movie where you get a lot of adaptations that just do not work because they don't know what they're trying to do. Are they trying to be the same thing
I
or
like how you didn't mention the Avatar movie because we literally try to make sure that that shit does not exist.
I completely forgot about I'm new to Avatar, so I didn't even bother to see it and I now
Don't.
I'm not going to
Yeah,
waste my time.
it's not worth it.
Yeah.
We have Jon Favreau to thank for the MCU, so thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Jon
Jon
Favreau.
Favreau.
Yeah,
We
in
have him to thank
Favreau,
for Star Wars too.
I'm gonna put like in Favreau we trust like right on my wall somewhere because I
Get me a copy. I would put that up. I think like everything he's touched so far has been pretty good. I mean, look at the what Star Wars has become on TV. I mean, like, yes, Star Wars fans are horrible people, but I do. Yeah, no, I'm gonna say it. I think there's. Oh, really?
I didn't say that. I made the Bayhive angry. You just made the Star Wars fanatics
I,
upset.
I think if you go on the internet and just type in Star Wars, you're gonna get a lot of people who love to hate their own fandom. And I think Star Wars is one of the more toxic environments. But I will say, The Mandalorian was phenomenal. Ahsoka was phenomenal. Boba Fett was fine. But there was a lot of like I love Skeleton Crew. I thought Skeleton Crew was amazing.
I
And I
haven't
do
watched
think
it yet.
Jon Favreau was behind a lot of that. And I think it worked out really well.
He's the nerd that got it done, honestly.
Hmm.
He really is. We love
Yeah.
you. In Favreau, we trust.
In Favreau we trust. The new slogan of the show.
All right, Dan, we got to come up with the final verdict here. So, like, from all the main arguments, which were live action animation, what was the other one? Family Guy, Bob's Burgers. What do you think if they made live action adaptations of either of those shows?
Oh God, that would be awful. I don't think they should. I don't think Family Guy would translate well with all like the cutaways and like the talking baby. I think that would just look. I can't think of a way where that works. I
I'm
think
thinking, I
Bob's
don't know if
Burgers
you ever seen the
could
movie
work.
Baby Geniuses.
Yeah, exactly. And I doesn't hold up. Like that would, but you'd also have to have a talking dog. You'd have to have these just like, I don't know. Family Guy is too unserious. I think Bob's Burgers, like these are real people, so it
Could you
could
see a live
work.
action Bob's Burgers? I
I
wouldn't want
could
to,
see it. I wouldn't want it. No, I wouldn't want it at all. But I
but if
could
it,
see it's more likely.
would you go watch it?
No,
So
I
I
don't.
think I
Yeah.
think in that regards, I think we'll take animated definitely wins. I like how they blended pretty well the two main quest buckets today. It's almost
Yeah.
like it was rigged, but it's not. You
I
saw
believe
me.
you.
I
I believe
shuffled.
you.
I
Yeah.
went in there.
You
I
guys
dug
can't
deep.
see it because this is a podcast, but these are 10-foot buckets. They're so impressive. They've got
These are
lights.
we
Yeah,
keeping
they're
the visual to this, Dan. Do not lie to our listeners. Listen, this is for future reference, guys. Trust me.
don't I'm chaos. Don't trust me.
This is
I'm here to take this off the rails.
10-foot buckets, by the way.
I literally said vanilla is better than chocolate. Okay, I'll fight anybody. Yeah,
Holy shit.
you heard it
So
here first.
so animated over live action,
Hmm.
Family Guy versus Bob's Burgers. What's the final verdict here?
I think we went Bob's Burgers on that one.
So so all I'm hearing is we need a Bob's Burgers animated film in theaters right now.
Oh, we had one, right?
Oh, that's right. I forgot about it. I forgot.
Wait.
We need
Oh my
another
God.
one. We need another one. That's what I
Wow.
mean.
That was the way you said it. You were just like, I've got this great idea and you guys should do it. It's just like, you're like 3 years too late. Yeah, but it was great. It was a great movie. It was so good. And it just because it was like a full episode and it was phenomenal. So, yeah.
I need a gavel. On that note, oh, don't tell me you have one. Holy shit!
I
Let's
got this like
go.
2 days ago. So for those listening to the podcast, I host a show on YouTube called Starcade. And I don't know when this episode's going to come out, but I'll just say this up front. We have a game coming up that is going to be an auction type game. And I thought to myself, I want to have a gavel. I'm not even probably going to hit it because you're not going to hear that through the thing. But I was like, I want a prop. So I went on Amazon. I got this for like $6. It's got the little thing and everything, and yeah, I have a gavel. So it's so funny you said that because it's literally just sitting right here.
I like how our podcast multiverse is slowly building. I'm going on Amazon and ordering me a gavel right now.
There's so many on Amazon. I didn't think I'd find as many as I did. These are like full judge legitimate gavels.
Oh, I'm ready because I want to end each episode with the final verdict and a freaking gavel slam and bang.
Do it. I
I
love it.
can't
Yeah.
hear input.
You should get like a really intense like Law and Order type gavel sound to play.
That's crazy because I was just like, "Where's my Law and Order dun dun
Yeah.
soundboard right now? I need
You
it."
you need like a type. Yeah.
That's how I hit it. I'll do a dun dun like
Yeah.
with the gavel itself. I'll just record it and it'll be great.
I
All
love
right,
that.
all right, guys. This has been super fun. This is like a dream come true for me. Dan, thank you so much for being here.
Happy to
You
be here.
are
Thank you.
phenomenal. Thank you for hosting Starcade, by the way. If you guys haven't tuned in yet, please follow. It's an amazing live game show on YouTube. When we talk about live comment, this is another thing that seems rigged, but we just debated about live chats and comment sections. Get in that live chat for Starcade. It is hilarity. Hilarity
I
ensues every episode.
I love the live chat of Starcade, 100%. And, you're bearing the lead here. It's not just me hosting this show. Sven is our co-host and Svengineer, who keeps the whole thing running. Let's just say the first episode was a bit of a train wreck when it came from the stuff I was supposed to be doing. But yeah, so Sven helped alleviate some of the burden. But no, it's such a fun show that we do together. And yeah, we have another episode coming out. I don't know when this podcast is coming out, but either way, we have an episode coming out super, super soon.
Just follow us on the socials. You versus who on IG. You versus who pod on TikTok. I probably got that mixed up, but as I go along, I'll get it right. It's either you versus who pod or you versus who. Just follow us on that. And if you like us, follow us as we create this very diverse multiverse. We have future plans where if we can do this, then this is what we'll do. I love doing this. So thank you, Dan, so much.
Happy to
Say
be
bye,
here. Thank you.
listeners.
Bye, listeners.
Bye.